Hello everyone, this is Lakshman. Welcome back to our YouTube channel. In today's session, I am going to explain one of the important topic that is nothing but how the real-time workflow, the work process in IT companies, and what exactly the software developers or programmers doing the work process in IT companies. Okay, so I am going to clear your doubt in this session. Okay, so watch till the end, then you can understand what exactly the workflow, the work process in software companies for web developers. Okay, initially I have to say something. So once the project is approved to the IT company, they will analyze the requirements of the project. Okay, and what is the budget and what are the tools we have to use. So each and everything they discuss about the project. Okay, so once they decided about the requirements analysis, then they will come into the designing of the application. Once done the designing, and they will start the writing the source code. So from here I am going to explain the work process, how the IT companies are developing the projects. Okay, so first here you can see here, so here is the individual developer is working on the workstation. This is PC1, PC2 and PC3. Each developer doing their own task. So once the work is completed in the end of the day, so he will submit the source code into local repository. That is nothing but Git repository. Okay, so Git is nothing but version control system where the source code will be stored. Okay, so from here onwards, again this from here the source code will be pushed to the remote repository, that is nothing but GitHub. I will explain in the next session how the communication between Git and GitHub. So there are a lot of commands are there to communicate between Git and GitHub. I will make a video on separate on this topic. Okay, so now just we are discussing about the workflow. Okay, so individual contributor will submit the source code into Git repository, that is nothing but local repository. So once add your source code into Git repository, again you have to commit that source code into GitHub remote repository, that is nothing but centralized version control system. From here you can pull the source code and you can push the source code. Okay, pull means you can render the source code. Push means you can submit your source code into GitHub repository. Okay, so once the source code submitted from individual contributor into the remote repository, from here Jenkins server will get the source code. So this Jenkins server will execute, will compile and execute. Okay, each and everything is done by the Jenkins server. Okay, so from here with this Jenkins, using Jenkins you can build the application where you can execute the software. So it will create the executable file, so in the form of var file or jar file. You may think that Jenkins server will only compile the source code. No, Jenkins server along with compilation, it will review the source code and it will do unit testing, integration testing, each and everything. And also it can build the application. Suppose if build is failed, then you can easily identify who has made commit that source code, by whom we get the commit source code, why the build is failed, from which person we got the error, each and everything we know from here only. So once a build is successful in the form of a var file or jar file, then this jar file, this executable software file will deliver into the test server for user acceptance testing, for UAT. So from here you can do testing engineer will do the functionality testing. Okay, user acceptance testing, whether the end user successfully logging or not, each and every functionality we is going to checking here on the testing server. Suppose if there are any bugs are raised in the testing environment, then we can easily identify which developer has commit that source code by which time. Okay, each and everything will identify. If the software is free from bugs, then it will deploy into the production server. Okay, so it might be, suppose if you are deploying on the any cloud based service, then here we are going to create the one Docker image. That Docker image will deploy into any cloud based service provider, that might be AWS or Azure. Okay, so this is the exactly process, the real-time workflow in software companies. Okay, let me explain one more time. So individual contributor, individual developer will develop the source code. Okay, so once you develop the source code, they will add the source code in local repository. From there, we have to commit the source code into remote repository, that is nothing but GitHub. From GitHub, Jenkins server will pull the source code. Okay, so the Jenkins server will compile the source code and execute the source code. Okay, and review the code, and it also do unit testing, integration testing, and then it will build the application in the form of var or jar file. This executable jar file will deliver into the on the testing server environment. Here the testers will do some testing on the application. It is nothing but functionality testing. Okay, so after that one, once successfully done the testing, and you will deploy into the production server. Suppose if you are deploying into any cloud service, then you have to create that, then you have to create the application as a Docker image. That image will deploy into any cloud service based provider, that might be AWS or Azure or GCP, anyone. So this is the entire process. If you have any doubts on this workflow, please comment in the comment section. I will reply to your queries. I highly recommend you please share this video in the social medias as well, because many candidates do not have any idea how the exactly work process. Okay, so if you really like this video, please hit the thumb button and also share to your friends. So thank you for watching.